This is Willard Carlson, one of my old friends that I used to run up and down the river with, and now we're elders. It just so happens that Willard has been working with George Wilson, and some of the history behind the Veterans Ceremonial Boat that we have in Petaluma, which last year over 44,000 people during November at the Veterans Parade on 11/11/2016 participated. What's interesting is some of the history here from George and Willard has led us to believe that maybe down the road, this is a dream of Mr. Wilson's, we're going to honor the boat makers, the old traditional redwood dugout boat makers. And I'd like Willard to say a couple words right now about the dream and how he got involved with it. Willard?
Yeah, I've been working with my good friend George Wilson for about the last 10 years on the Blue Creek Outlaw Village project. Well, about 5 years ago, me and my son, my oldest son, was taking our boat ride, and we found this redwood tree that fell over and was in the drink up there. So we checked it out, and I went down and got George, and we brought up another bigger boat, and we cut this redwood tree up into 3 or 4 logs in the water, and we tied them up, and then later on at a later date, we wrapped them down to my place at Blue Creek Outlaw Village, and we used an old bulldozer to pull it up. But the thing is, I want to tell you about, there's this other fella his name was Gig Eberhardt. It was his 8th birthday, and they were taking a boat cruise. And I said, Gig, do you think he could still buck a log? He goes, can I? Can I? So I have a picture of him. He's 80 years old, this big old redwood log, and he's bucking that thing down the thing there. And so we used an old bulldozer. We pulled it up to my place, and George is a master canoe carver, friend, been my main help. And it's been an honor to work with George and roughing out this canoe that at a later date, after roughing it out, he moved it over to his house here in the Klamath Glen, and he did the finish work on it because it really needed a lot of work. And I'm just so honored to have worked with George, known Terry here for ages, and knowing that this redwood canoe is down there at the veterans, Native American Veterans Parades, and it's really awesome, and it's good to share that.
Well, tell us a little bit about the idea or the dream about honoring our traditional, the old-time redwood boat builders.
Well, we were up there working on the boats, and I'm learning from George. And so George, he comes up to me and he says, "So you think you're a boat builder, huh?" I said, "No, sir." I said, "I'm just a chipper," because that's what his teacher said to him when he was first learning. You cut with your axe and you start chipping. How much do I cut? Just cut, he would tell George. So I walked, Bill Van Pelt was the boat builder. It was his dream he shared with George.
Who was George's teacher?
Bill Van Pelt. Bill Van Pelt was his teacher. They were working, and he had shared with George that he would like to do a canoe trip with everybody was canoes, put them on the water, do a trip down the river as a tribute to all the great boat builders of the past. Wow. So myself and George, we talked about this, about fulfilling the old man's dream and his vision. So I would like to, when George is ready, I've been waiting because I've been just talking about this last couple days with somebody. So
we will visit with George this morning at breakfast, and we'll kind of just bring it up.
Bring it on up. Yeah, you tell me you ran into a guy down there at the Peme. Old timer.
Okay.
Thank you guys, and bless you for all your good things that you do for people.